Hello everyone! This hour on Verbling, the next class in my Getting Results in Business series, we're completing our unit on how to talk about plans and processes, both technical and non-technical processes that you may have to go through at work. And today, in this class, which is the second hour we're doing today, we're going to work on a case study. We're going to learn about a problem, a real-life problem that a business has, and we're going to have to put ourselves in the shoes of those people and try to explain the process that they're going through to an investor to try to get investment. So that will require that we put together all of our skills from the unit, the vocabulary, the key expressions we've learned, and the grammar that we focused on in the last hour to one big realistic simulation. So we'll get started with that in just a moment. First, a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour, and I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate in my class. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so that we can keep the classroom quiet. Also, tune in to the new vocabulary words that you learn. Try to use them as actively as you can so that I can correct you, and that way you'll learn. And open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. So in the last hour, we looked at the form of the passive voice in different verb tenses. What we're going to do is a little bit of work with that as a quick review, and then we're going to begin a case study. So what I'd like you to do is take a look. I've got a few. Let me just take a look at what we're going to do here, because I think I don't have time to do everything. So we've got matching, fine. Oh, this is a mistake. Oh, made a little mistake there in the presentation. That's the last one. Okay. Okay. Maybe we could do 2 of these as a short review. So the first exercise to review is match the sentences below to the uses of the passive voice. More than one answer is sometimes possible. So here in this slide, we were talking about the form, and I was explaining briefly what each of these means, what a modal means, what the infinitive means, and what the present perfect, what that actually means in terms of the form. Have in the past participle, was in the past participle for past simple, is in the past participle for present simple, would, could, can, should, will, would, may, might, need to, ought to, dare for the modals, to be, to do, etc. for the infinitives. Here, I want you to focus on the meaning, not the form, but the meaning. So the first meaning is to emphasize the result rather than a person or a cause. Which form in A through D do you think best fits that meaning of the passive voice? What do you think? Yuki, let's start with you. Look through the options from A to D and tell me which one do you think best fits. By the way, there may be more than one possibility.
To emphasize the result rather than the person or cause. Mistake has been made.
A mistake has been made. That's right. The focus is on the mistake. We don't care about who did it. That's absolutely right. Let me ask everyone in the class, what about A? Do you think that would also fit for number 1? I was given your name by a colleague.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're not mentioning the actual colleague, but you could say it was given to me by a colleague. Oh, who was it? Oh, it was Joe. You could say it, but here the important thing is that, oh, we have this contact, so the result is being emphasized more. The fact that it was given by a colleague is more important than who gave it at this moment, at least in the conversation. So probably A and D would both fit for number 1, most likely. All right. Ruben, what do you think about number 2? Which meaning fits A through D? Remember, there may be more than one possibility.
When the person who does the action is unknown, unimportant, or too obvious to mention. I suppose you don't name it in the option. I have to say in the option that doesn't talk about.
Match it to the sentences, A through D. Which sentence or sentences fit?
In C, you don't know who is producing the cars, for example. B couldn't be because it talks about Jet Tropha. And E also can be because it talks about the colleague.
E? Where's
E? And D also can be an option, I think. C and D.
C and D. Is that it?
I think so.
C and D. Okay. Well, hang on a second. Let me just C. I agree with you. So when a person does not know, when a person who does not, oh my God, I can't read. When the person who does the action is unknown, unimportant, or too obvious, Fiat cars are produced. We don't have to say Fiat cars are produced. It's kind of weird though because Fiat is the producer. It kind of does mention who's doing it, but yes, we don't have to say Fiat cars from the Fiat factory are produced in Turin. So I guess C does work. So I agree. But D, I'm not sure if I agree with you about D though, because D is much more about emphasizing the result. But look at B again. Jatropha plants are grown in hot climates. Who's growing the Jatropha plants, Ruben? Who's growing?
Okay.
We don't know, right? We don't know who it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, so it's B and C. So when the person who does the action is unknown, we're not mentioning the farmers who do it. We're just mentioning that these plants are grown. And in Fiat cars, we're not mentioning which factory is doing it. We're mentioning only that the cars are produced. Giuseppe, is that true that Fiats are produced in Turin?
Yeah.
They are? I thought Fiat was in the south for some reason. It's in the north?
Fiat has many factories displaced around the world. In Italy, we have some of them in the south of Italy. And the one was closed in Sicily. Recently. And what the intention of Fiat is close all the plants in Italy and open up in Poland because
no way.
Yeah.
No way. Fiat are now Polish cars? Who knew?
Polish and Bosnia or Serbia because.
But didn't Fiat just buy an American car company? Didn't Fiat buy or partner with?
Fiat buy the Chrysler.
Right.
Chrysler, and the last news is that we produce the cars. We'll probably produce the cars in Italy, and the car will be sent in the United States.
The car will be exported to.
Exported to the United States.
Right. So the Italians have to buy their Italian cars from Poland, and the Americans will buy their American cars from Italy. That's how it works?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good system. Well, Giuseppe?
That's why the market goes down.
Yeah. It's good. Well, Giuseppe.
Here, Fiat is famous as a Lada.
As a what?
Lada. Fiat is produced in Soviet Union, and the Fiat car is called Zhiguli or Lada. Here.
I don't understand the last word. Larger?
Rada.
I don't understand.
No?
Put it in the chat window.
Lada.
Yes.
Lada? What is that?
That is practically same as Fiat car.
Ah, okay.
It is produced in another name in Russia.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Poland or Yugoslavia.
But Lada is a Fiat car from the
Yes,
same
yes.
company.
Yes.
Oh, so they just use a different brand name.
Yes, different brand name just. Yes.
And they sell them in the former Soviet Union.
Yes.
So you're saying they sell them there.
Even now, Rada is very famous here in Russia.
Right.
But practically, it is Italian car.
It's the small car.
It's a small car.
It's a small
city
car.
car.
Yes, it's a compact car.
We call we call it Panda.
Panda.
Panda. As the beer which lives in China.
Yeah, we had Lau in the class before. He lives in Shandong with the pandas, but he's not here now. Too bad. Well, getting back to task, look at the last one, Giuseppe. To talk about a process or how something is done. So again, you can have more than one answer here, but what do you think is the closest example to talk about a process or how something is done?
The closest one is B. Jatropha plants are grown in hot climates.
That's absolutely right. But there's also another one too. Florina, do you think there's another possibility besides B? Giuseppe's right, because we're not talking about how to talk about a process or how something is done. We're talking about the fact that they are grown in hot climates as part of the process. We're not saying who does it, so the emphasis is on basically the process itself. Mm-hmm. Florina, do you think there's another example that matches?
Oh, no.
Well, there is.
Oh, okay.
There's one more. So you do think there's another one, because there is.
Okay.
So besides B, besides Jatropha plants are grown in hot climates,
maybe C?
What do you think is the next one that matches?
C?
Maybe C is correct.
Okay.
That's right. So number 2 and 3 have the same answers, B and C. Number 2 and 3 both match with B and C.
Okay.
The point here is to try to start to think about how the passive voice is used. We looked at the form, now we're looking at the use. There's a mistake in the slide here. Hold on a second. Sorry about that mistake. There's a little piece of the other slide got stuck here. I don't know how that happened. But ignore the top of the page. Read these statements. Are they true for you? Make false statements true for you and tell a partner. So Florina, I'd like you to pick a statement and first of all, read the first statement. Let's start there on the right.
Okay. Most of work is done on the phone and by email.
Okay, great. Is that true for you where you work in the recruitment agency?
Yes, yes. Yes. It's true. Very true.
So you don't have to make a false statement true for you. Okay, so that one's correct. What's the verb tense here, Florina?
Present simple.
Is done is the present simple. And notice on the phone and by email. Notice on the phone and by email. The prepositions. By email. It's done by email. Same thing we would say if we talk about who did it. Most of the phone is done. Oh, most of the phone. Most of the work is done on the phone and by email by me and by my colleagues. So by has more than one meaning. You would use it to talk about who did it. You can also use it to talk about how the work is done. We're back to Anton. I'd like you to read the next statement and change it if it's necessary to talk about your job, your work. You can pick any one you want. It doesn't matter.
Most of my colleagues have been employed by other companies at some stage.
So that's true?
Yes, it's true.
Okay. Tell me about the verb tense here. Is this the present simple as well?
No. It's the past simple.
Do you remember the name? Not past simple. No, not past simple. Look at the choices again. Look at number 4 at the bottom.
Okay. Had been present perfect, maybe.
Exactly. It's the present perfect. Have been employed. And one way you know that is because it has 2 past participles. The first is always been. Always. Never changes. And also you know it because the perfect tenses always have. In Spanish, English, French, in fact, every language that I know, there's always a have. Don't ask me about Russian, Japanese, or Chinese. I don't know. But in the ones I know, there's always a have. So it's actually the same form in the languages. Yuki, I'd like you to pick one and make it true for you if it's not true. It doesn't matter which one you use. Remember, you're the boss where you work.
It's always important to be liked by the boss. I think it's completely true for my life experience. It always works. So I have no suspicion about
But aren't you the boss for your work? Aren't you the boss?
Now I'm my boss, but
you have to be liked by yourself. It's always good to be liked by yourself. Yes.
It is. Yes. But before I have worked in company, so I have a boss. So it is.
And you found out it was better to be liked than disliked by your boss.
Yes. Now I like that I am my boss, but sorry, could you repeat again?
Oh, I didn't say anything. I was listening to you.
Yes.
Yuki, tell me quickly about the verb tense in that sentence.
Verb tense.
How would you identify the verb?
I think it's a modal verb is used.
Okay. Which is the modal verb? Which? You mean to be? Is that what you mean?
No. It's just sorry, present simple.
It is the present simple, but the past tense, the passive form is the to be liked form, which is not the present simple. Remember what we call that? If you go back here to slide 4. Sorry, we go back here to slide 10. We got those choices in exercise 4.
It's a modal. No?
Not modal because there's no can, could, will, would, shall, should. None of those are in the sentence. So it can't be modal.
Infinitive form.
It's in the infinitive form, right? Because although verb tense is present simple, it is always, that's true, it is always is only for the beginning of the sentence. It is always important. But in the complement of the sentence, the passive voice is in the to be liked. So to be is in the infinitive form. To is a test. If you can put to in front of a word, you know it's a verb. To be liked. That's it. Okay. Ruben, last one. Pick a statement and make it true for you if it's not true.
Most of the last one. Most of my colleagues have been employed by other companies at some stage.
And why is that?
So I picked.
Yeah, why is that?
Not true. It's not true.
Oh, it's not true.
No.
Oh, make it true. Make it true.
Okay, so most of my colleagues haven't been employed by other companies at some stage.
Haven't been employed, right?
Haven't been employed, exactly.
As a negative, Ruben, that's okay. But it would sound better to say most of my colleagues have never been employed. Because we're talking, when we use the present perfect, we're talking about experience. Experience happens over a period of time, so never is a better negation than not in this case. It sounds a little better. Most of my colleagues have never been employed by other companies. Why is that? Why have they never been employed at other companies? Just out of curiosity. Where do you work?
I work as a teacher in a public secondary school.
Oh, okay.
And most teachers had developed a career from the university, and they didn't have any experience in the private world. I think this is a mistake in our education system.
What do you teach?
I teach IT skills, computer science.
Right. You teach computer science in a high school, secondary school.
Secondary school, mostly.
Right. And how old are the kids?
The range is from 13 to maybe 19, 20 or more. It depends.
Yeah, go ahead.
How it's called? We have in Spain the secondary system, which usually connects to the university, to college, and we have another.
Secondary is for university? Isn't tertiary university?
Tertiary, exactly. So secondary connects with tertiary, but we have another branch that connects directly with the real world, with the real world jobs.
Like doing internships.
Exactly. They are more connected with companies, and I don't know how it's called that. In Spanish,
what do you call it in Spanish?
Professional education. I don't know.
Wow, that sounds just like English. What's the term? What's the term in Spanish?
Formación profesional.
Educación profesional. Okay. If you say formación, it's training. Training.
Training.
So not education, but training. Because we differentiate training from education. Education is conceptual. Training, we say the same here in Portugal. What do we say? Formação. Oh my God, I'm blocking everything today. My brain is not working. Formação. Formação profissional. So it's training is usually technical and very practical. And educational, in English, I'm talking about English now. And education would be more conceptual or theoretical. So sometimes we'll say, what's the word? On-the-job training. But there's always training in some way. It's always training. The word training is always used. And the type of practical skills you get are usually done on the job itself. So that's called interning. You're an intern. You do an internship with the company, meaning you get experience rather than pay. Sometimes you can get paid as well, but you get experience rather than paid, and it counts as college credit or university credit or high school credit. By the way, let's just say a quick hello to Giuseppe number 2, because we have Giuseppe number 1 here already. Hello, Giuseppe. How are you?
Fine, thanks, teacher. This
And
is
where-
the first time with you, but not another teacher.
Okay, great to meet you, Giuseppe. Where are you from?
I'm from Italy, teacher.
I know you're from Italy, but where?
Good. You I go to Italy?
Yes. Where are you from, exactly?
South Italy, I live.
Well, the other Giuseppe in our class is from the south of Italy. Where are you from in the south of Italy? Because I got to tell you apart. Otherwise, I'm going to say Giuseppe 1 and Giuseppe 2. Are you from Sicily?
Yes.
You're from Sicily too?
Yes. Both.
Giuseppe 1 and Giuseppe 2, do you know each other? Have you seen this guy before?
No, I haven't.
And does he wear a bow tie everywhere he goes?
But
Or
Sicily is big, you know what?
I know it's big, but I've also heard it's very easy to disappear in Sicily too, depending on what you say to whom.
Well,
That's another story. It's also easy to disappear if you produce cars. You end up in Poland somewhere. Well, listen, Giuseppe, the other Giuseppe from Sicily, what we're doing is we're doing a quick review of the passive voice forms because we're going to be doing a case study, a realistic work simulation, where we use these forms and all the vocabulary from the unit to solve a problem. In fact, let's get started with that right now. So I'm going to jump ahead here to the second presentation that I posted for you in the class material. All these skills are going to be used, talking about processes, making making and changing future plans, the expressions from the end of yesterday's class about getting someone's attention, and using the passive voice that we've been doing in the first class, the first hour, and a quick review now. So we're going to start by getting a little bit of background in this case study, okay? So, Giuseppe, just follow along for a minute, and you'll pick it up as we go along. I'm going to give you a task to do as a group. So, let's go on to Florina. Do you think you could read the first part of our expert view? This is an opinion from an expert in the field, Graham Clark, who is a senior lecturer in operations management at the famous Cranfield School of Management in the UK. Could you start the reading for us in the first column on the left there, Florina? Don't forget to turn on your microphone, Florina.
Yes, but I don't have this slide.
You can't see the screen? Can you see?
I can see the screen, but I don't have the slide in the presentation you gave us.
That's true. This is the second presentation. That's true.
Okay.
But
I pasted the link for you now.
But Yuki pasted it for you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, it doesn't open.
Okay. But what about just reading it off the screen?
Okay, I have it. Okay.
Okay, so start the reading for us, please.
Okay. Introducing a new process often meets with resistance from employees. Frequently, the organization is trying to improve its efficiency by developing or streamlining its activities. In this case, it helps to involve the people who will be affected by the new process. They can help identify ways to improve.
Okay, very good. Improve efficiency.
Okay.
Improve efficiency. I had to cut it. Listen, Florina, I want you to repeat these words. Employees.
Okay. Employees.
Repeat.
Employees.
But
okay.
Yeah, in fact, it's even better if you say. How would I say? To employ, employee. It's better if you put the stress into the word, employee.
Employee. Okay.
The stress, le syllabe tonique, has to go at the end. Employee.
Employee. Okay. I have to continue?
Right. And also, wait, no, wait 1 second.
Okay.
There was another one. Say this word. Say this word, this expression. Streamlining its activities.
Streamlining its activities.
Repeat.
Streamlining its activities.
Okay, good. Sounds good. That's good. Okay, it sounds good now. It's just to say that there's a different pronunciation between English and French when you have words, because in French it's like activité, and the
Yes.
stress is at the end, but in English it's not. Activities. It's on the second syllable.
Activities.
And with employees,
Mhm.
we have it. That's right. That's right. Okay, Anton, could you continue with the second part?
If reducing costs also means reducing staff numbers, employees will want to know how the changes will affect them. If the processes are the result of opportunities created by new technology, it's important to involve employees and customers in pilot schemes.
Schemes.
Schemes?
With a K. Imagine it's got a K, a kappa. Scheme.
Schemes.
Right.
Schemes. Organizations should be prepared to listen to feedback and review their approach if necessary.
That's right. So this is an opinion I want you to keep in mind, but I need you to simplify this a little bit. So take a minute. Maybe Yuki, I could ask you to give us the gist of Graham Clark's opinion. Could you say this in just a sentence or two? What's the gist of this opinion, in your opinion? What's the gist of what he's trying to say?
It's a big dilemma. It would be a big dilemma between employees and organization, bosses.
What's the dilemma?
I mean that bosses want to their business more streamlining.
Streamlined, right? Streamlined,
right. More effective, and more simple, simply. But in most cases, in many cases, employees are not used to the wouldn't be used to the new method.
Right. And so what does that so what's the result of that? Difficult to adapt. Okay, good. So it's difficult for them to adapt.
It's difficult for employees to adapt the new rule, a new method. That's a problem. But if employees has intention to improve their businesses for their company, such a process would be more smooth. Smoothly going on.
Yuki, let me just ask you, what was the correction that I suggested? Instead of using the word such, do you remember, like a week ago, I think? I can't remember. I gave you a suggestion. Instead of using such, do you remember?
Such?
Instead of using such, what sounds better? Do you remember? If not, I'll be happy to remind you.
I can't remember, sorry.
Because all Japanese speakers always use the word such a lot, because they're translating directly, I guess. But in English,
really?
Yeah, you and Aka, the two that are mostly in the classes, say the exact same thing. Do you remember the other day I was saying, instead of saying such, when you want to say such, you can use this kind of, this sort of, this type of.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Because okay. That's it. So get rid of such. Just don't use it. Don't use it.
Okay.
Later we'll see when it's more appropriate. But generally, employees won't be able to get used to this sort of, or this kind of, or this type of change? Sort of, kind of, type of. 3 possibilities for you.
It
Ruben,
often happens, such a kind of problems, yeah, like this kind of.
Yeah, but to get rid of such, don't say such kind of, say this kind of, or that kind of. It sounds much better. Sounds much more like a native speaker. Ruben, what's the key word here from the Graham-Clark argument here has one key word. What do companies need from their employees to implement a big change? There's one key word, one key idea that stands above the rest. What should companies be open to, Ruben? What should they be open to from their employees?
Open to?
Yeah, what do they want to get back from their employees before they make a big change? What do they want to get from their employees that they don't normally do? Or when they don't get it, there's problems. You see what I mean? You can use the key word that you see there in the text, or just give me the main idea. What should companies be open to from receiving from their employees before they implement a change?
Feedback, I suppose.
Feedback! Absolutely. They need feedback. That's the opposite. A couple of classes ago, we talked about structure, company structure, and we distinguished between a top-down, a bottom-up, and a flat hierarchy. So feedback is not the top-down model. It's the bottom-up model. It's also the flat hierarchy model. It's not the old school model. You said there needs to be educational reform in Spain. Do you think that there's feedback from teachers getting into the decision-making process?
I don't think we don't have a
bottom-up
model, because government doesn't listen to us, our proposals. So they do their proposals and they put it on the paper.
Absolutely. So they're not really informed about what's happening on the ground, so to speak. When we say on the ground, that we mean where things are actually occurring. They don't really know the reality. Is that it?
No, I suppose they imagine the reality.
Right. Okay, very good. Not very good, but good to understand what's going on in Spain. This is a major problem in company structure as well, not just in the public sector. So let's take a look at one particular example here. We're going to read about this case study, and then we're going to try to solve a problem. I don't know if we're going to complete this task because we don't have a lot of time, but let's read about it, define what the task is, and then we'll see what we can do with it. We might have to create a second class to actually do the task, but let's at least begin. So we're going to have the two Giuseppes do the reading for this task. Everyone else is going to follow along. Then I've got some questions for you to think about this. Okay? So, the first Giuseppe from Sicily, the other Giuseppe from Sicily said Jose. I'm supposed to call you Jose. Is that it? Oh, he's not answering. Okay, Giuseppe 1, my older Giuseppe, my returning hero. Could you start us off? I want you to read about a new process implementation. An airline needs to check on its check-in system. Could you start with the... actually, maybe we can all just take a paragraph. This is pretty short. Giuseppe, could you start us off in the first paragraph?
Okay. Air 27 is a low-cost airline operating on routes throughout Europe. The company is very successful. It carries over 30 million passengers a year and has a total revenue of over 2 billion euros. But Air 27 is facing problems. Stop.
No, just to ask you, what does that first paragraph mean in simple terms? In the simplest terms, what kind of company is Air 27? How would you describe it as a company? Is it like anything you know?
Well, it's a flight company.
It's a flight company? Big or small?
Bigger. Low-cost airline, so low-cost company. Small company.
Well, a total revenue of 2 billion euros. That's not so small, though, right? Right?
It carries over 30 million passengers, so here, 2 billion euros. Well, it's a medium high company.
All right. Is it like any companies that you've heard of? Does it remind you of anything? Is it like Alitalia?
Actually, not. Well, Lufthansa.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
It's a little different. So when we say low cost, let's clarify that. What do you think they mean by low cost?
Cheap.
Because even
cheap cost, and like a Ryanair.
Like Ryanair, exactly. Not like Lufthansa, but like Ryanair.
Ryanair.
So in some way they're saving money by doing something. Maybe maybe they have alternate routes or something like that. Okay. Our other Giuseppe. You said call you Jose? Is that right?
Yes.
Jose. Okay, you're now Jose.
I read.
Please continue. Second paragraph.
Okay. But I am 27 is facing problem. It has kept fares low by using traditional check-in desks and not investing in alternative technology, like some of its competitors. Competitor, yes. Sorry.
Don't forget the S's at the end of the words. Don't forget the S to make it plural. Competitors.
Competitors. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I continue.
Please continue for this paragraph. Yeah.
Okay. This means that the average passenger check-in time is more than 2 hours. At busy times, the companies does not.
At busy times, At busy time, the companies does not always have enough staff to check in everyone on time. Continue. Okay. This leads to long, I don't know, queues. I don't know. Unhappy passenger, more stress for check-in staff, and flight being delay or taking off without passenger. Okay, good. I just want you to repeat a couple of words. I want you to repeat the name of the airline. Air 27. Repeat. Air 27.
Air 27.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
So just because you see the letter I doesn't mean you say it. It's not air, but air.
Air.
Okay.
Air.
And also the word queue. Queues.
Okay.
Queues mean everyone stands in a line and waits. That's a queue. Everyone stands in line and waits. So if there are long queues, that means hundreds of people are standing in line waiting. Is that clear? If you go to the supermarket, there's always a queue to pay for the food. There's always a queue, a long line of people.
I don't know the queue, teacher. Sorry.
But I'm giving you an example. Do you go shopping for food?
Yes.
Where do you wait before you pay? When you go to the cash register,
yes.
Where do you normally wait? Are you able to go and pay immediately, or do you have to wait? Wait? Well, let me ask you a question. Giuseppe, not Jose. Giuseppe, how would you say queue in Italian?
Line of people waiting to enter a building by something.
How can
exactly. Giuseppe won. How would you say queue in Italian? Help us
out. Coda.
Waiting line.
Giuseppe, are you there? How would you translate? Giuseppe, how would you translate queue in Italian?
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Giuseppe.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's finish the reading. Then I've got a few questions for everyone about what this actually means. Florina, can you continue with the next paragraph, please? On the top right.
Okay. Passenger.
Wait, Florina. Go for it.
Okay. Passenger feedback suggests some people may not want to fly with Air 27 again. They like the low fares, but not the check-in experience.
Hang on 1 second. They like.
They like. They like.
Not
they.
Not they, but they.
They. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
They like the low fares, but not the check-in experience. The situation is not helped by the recent increased security measures. These slow down passengers' progress through the airport even more.
Very good. 2 words. They. Through.
Okay.
Right. Look at the difference. They is a voiced sound, meaning you use your throat. They, right? It's voiced.
They, okay.
Through is not voiced. Through, you do not use your throat. Through.
Okay.
Can you hear the difference?
Can you repeat?
Listen to the two together.
Okay.
They through. They through.
Okay.
Try it.
They through.
Okay, good. In the second one, you can even reduce it a little more. Just through.
Okay. Through.
So you really just have to breathe out. Anyway,
okay.
If you learn the International Phonetic Alphabet, the IPA, you'll see that there are 2 different symbols for those TH sounds. One, the voiced, looks like a D with a cross on it, and the through looks like a circle with a line through it. They represent the voiced and unvoiced sounds. But anyway, if you just today I just want to just introduce it. Later on we can work more on pronunciation. Anton, let's finish it up with the last paragraph, and then I've got a few questions for everyone.
Okay. However, passenger numbers are increasing.
Number or numbers?
Numbers.
Right.
Thank you. Numbers are increasing. The UK Department for Transport forecasts the number of air passengers will increase from 228 million in 2006 to
2006.
2006 to 465 million in 2030. The current growth.
By the way, not millions, but just million.
Million.
Right. There's no S.
Million. Okay. Million. Without the S. Okay. The current growth in UK passengers is 60.4% a year. Air 27 knows it needs to invest in different methods of checking its passengers if it is to remain competitive.
So, Anton, what does it need to do if it wants to make money? In other words, what does it need to do? In your own words. What does the company need to do? What does the company need to do to make money?
To improve their methods to change because they are making some wrong things and they have to upload or
update.
Update.
Right.
Thank you.
Not upload, update. That's it. They've got to get more up to date with what they're doing. Absolutely. Let me ask everyone a question, which is: would you choose to I can't read. Would you choose to fly Air 27? Why or why not? Ruben, what do you think? Would you fly this company based on what we've seen so far?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I wouldn't like to be in a long queue and to be stressed,
Right.
and without knowing if I'm going to check in or
Have
take
you
the
ever flown on a low cost airline like
Yes,
Ryanair or anything?
yes,
And
I use it.
did you have any problems as a result?
No, the only problems were that they were annoying during the flight to buy things, and because I suppose it's supposed where they earn money or where they have profits, not selling the tickets or the real money comes from selling inside the plane, I think.
So they sell lots of things during the flight. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
Oh my God! There you go. So you're like in a flying convenience store, basically. Everything you have to pay for everything. And if you don't pay for anything, you get no food or drink or nothing. Is that it?
Is that it?
Oh my God! There you go. Well, let me tell you something that happened here. This is a true case. There was a low-cost airline. I'm not going to mention any names because I can't remember which one it is. But one of them, which was flying out of Lisbon, there was a thing in the news the other day where everyone had to board the plane on time at like midnight because it was going to be what we call a red-eye flight. Red-eye means overnight. And I don't remember where they were going. But anyway, for some reason, because it's a low-cost airline, they had to wait for an air channel to be open. So they told everyone to remain seated. After 6 hours, 6 hours, the plane still hadn't taken off. And the pilot and the crew told the passengers that they could not leave. They could have to stay seated in the plane after 6 hours. One of the passengers called the police, and the police showed up and forced the plane to let the passengers off, and most of them went home. It took another 3 or 4 hours for the plane to finally take off. So that's one of the problems. They have to wait for whatever permission it is because they maybe share an air channel or something like that. So there's often long lines or inconvenience. So you're paying less, but there's always a problem. This is something that was in the news the other day. It just reminds me of that. And I've got another question for you here. What other methods of checking in could Air 27 consider? Jose, what do you think about this? Have you ever taken a low-cost flight? What other methods do other airlines use? What could they possibly do to fix their problem? What do you think?
Well, like Ryanair to do online check-in?
Absolutely. Yeah, why not? They could do an online ticket, right? And remember, this is about the check-in. So how would that help the check-in process?
To alleviate or to make short queues.
Short queues, absolutely. So you could shorten the queues if you could do it online, and maybe the ticket could just have a barcode. So when you go to the airport, you just pass it through a scanner or something like that. Yeah, I agree. And one last question here. Yuki, what are the advantages and disadvantages of an automatic check-in system for passengers?
Advantage is that of course you can you don't have to pay expensive ticket for low cost airline.
So it's cheaper?
Yes.
Cheaper.
Yes, it's of course it's cheaper,
Right.
and regarding the cons, of course, it is quite unpleasant to use such a low-cost airplane in many cases, including waiting a line for a long time and very simple or simplified service. For example, there is no no meat, no meals. There would be no meals served.
Well, there'll be no free
no
meals. According to Ruben, you have to pay for
there
everything.
would be no free meals and drinks.
Right, right. And also, Giuseppe, let me ask you, what do you think the inconveniences would be for the company itself, for the airline? For the passengers, maybe it's impersonal, maybe they have to pay for everything, but what about for the airline itself? What about for Air 27? What's the disadvantage of an automatic check-in system like electronic tickets? Could there be any disadvantage there?
I don't think so, because if the company, the airlines company, streamlined the technology, streamlined the logistics, and then use the technology to overflow to organize it and get what can I say? So it will be better for the company streamlined and use the technology in order to help the passengers to have
That's
to
true.
get
in the short term, I'm sorry, in the long term it'll be better. But in the short term, won't they have to make a big investment to change the system? I mean, won't they have to invest in the technology? Initially, they're going to have to put up a lot of money, don't you think?
Of course, at the beginning there will be an investment that will bring fruits after.
So, if they're having trouble in the short term, they're going to have to find an investor to help them out, right?
Sure.
They're going to have to get the money from somewhere. Guess what? That's your task. That's your task, by the way. Your task is exactly that. Let's see if we can see it on screen. It says work in groups of 3s. Well, I don't know about that, but we'll definitely work together. Your task is that you need a solution to Air 27's problem. That's what we're going to do. You will need to keep the current check-in system, but also decide which automatic system the company should choose. The money for investment in 2 additional systems is available. Oh my goodness, so you have the money. We don't have to worry about that. But what you're going to have to do is basically explain the technical process of these additional systems, which means using the vocabulary and the grammar of the unit. So that's our task. We've got our background. We've talked about it a bit. Here's the only issue. The only issue is we're out of time in this class. Let me just check my schedule real quick to see when we can do the next class. Obviously, I've got classes set up for next week, but let me just see if I can do another one. Just out of curiosity, are any of you available tomorrow on a Saturday, or is everyone doing other things?
It depends of the hour of the class.
Well, I'm just looking here at my schedule, and there is some open time at 1 o'clock France time and at 3 o'clock France time. And I think I might be able to do one of those. Otherwise, we can leave it till Monday, because on Monday I have the normal schedule. My schedule returns to normal for the first time in a long time. Oh no, it's not normal. Oh no, it's not. Monday I'm back at 12 o'clock Paris time, 11 o'clock London time. So if we all can't meet on the weekend, then let's leave it, because actually I'm not supposed to be teaching weekends anyway. If we're not all available, we can meet on Monday at 11 o'clock, and we'll just quickly summarize the problem that we've read about today, and we'll move on to trying to solve it using a task. What I'll do is I'll give 3 different people 3 different systems to read about, and then you're going to have to report back to the group using the passive voice, using some key expressions, using vocabulary. And during the weekend, what I can do is give you a few homework exercises to practice that vocabulary and those grammatical structures. So what I could do is send you a message through Verbling with a link to the homework, and I can also post it on Facebook and Google Plus if you're following me there. So make sure you go to my profile in Verbling and click follow so that it's easy for me to find you, and I can send you messages. I can send you the homework that way. So it sounds like it would be better if we do this on Monday. Am I right?
On Monday I can't because I'm working.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Sounds like it's better we do this on Tuesday, right? Florina, when are you not working?
Saturday and Sunday. Sorry.
But what about during the week? When are you free during the week?
This Monday afternoon I will be free.
But my classes are in the morning, unfortunately. My classes are but not in the morning, they're at noon, your time, at noon. Next week, it'll be from noon every day, Friday 2 hours. The week after that, I return to my normal schedule, which is 11 to noon, Monday through Friday. Because I'm working in the afternoon at a different school, so I can't be available, unfortunately. So I'm never going to see you again?
I don't know. I will see how to organize my days to follow your classes.
Well, send me a message if there's a time you want, and I'll see if I can be available. Okay? That goes for everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so unless you disagree with me, everyone, let's do this. Let me send you homework to do over the weekend to practice the targets, and we'll pick it up on Monday for most of you. Okay? That'll give you some time to work with the vocabulary on your own. Sound okay?
Okay.
Everyone else, is that all right? Yes, no? From everyone else? Yes, no? Good, bad? No opinion? I don't know what's going on. Or is no one's microphone working? We'll try.
Okay.
Ruben, for you it's better on Tuesday.
What days do you give classes?
Monday through Friday, and you're in Spain, so the time for you is noon, and then after next week it's going to return to 11 to noon, 2 hours in a row. Okay?
Okay.
So I think you don't have to worry about every student's schedule. They have their own schedule.
But I do worry, Yuki. I worry so much. They're like my children, Yuki. I worry about them. I want to nurture them.
Take easy.
No, my question was just whether or not everyone was available on Saturday. Because if everyone was, I could try to do it. But actually, I told Verbling that I can't work Saturdays, and I really can't. But I can make exceptions sometimes. Okay, but I think it sounds like it's better we do it next week. And if there's time on Saturday, we'll do something a little bit different, like we were doing the other Saturdays, if I can do it. Okay, have a good weekend, everyone, and look for my links in Verbling. Check your messages later today or tomorrow to see the links that I send you, okay? Have a good weekend, everyone. Hope to see you next week. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Good weekend.
Goodbye.
Bye.